Peace, 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 family. Coffee time, episode 45. I know it's not my usual coffee time early in the morning, or even sometimes when I come on, sometimes late night conversation. But I wanted to come on real quick just to add more of what some of the people have been saying about Fat Joe, Fat Josephina, Joey Cartagena, Joey the liar, Joey the tax evader, and all the good stuff that he's been doing, and how he attacked FBA and said FBA was a group and stuff like this and so forth. But in particular, he attacked Tariq, Nasheed, and Lord Jamal. And they're men, and they're going to speak on it. And I know that Lord Jamal addressed it already, as he should, and handled it as he should. But I wanted to just shed some light. So he goes on to saying about FBA lineage, and FBA is a hate group, and what he deems to be FBA, because he was called out for his lies that he had been saying about the origins of hip hop in Tariq's documentary Microphone Check. So he's upset because he's been exposed. Because in reality is that he had to respond. He had to go on Math Hoffa's show and say what he said. And the reason why he had to say what he said is because his whole cosplay, his whole jig as an artist is up. He's been a fraud his whole life. He's been a fraud ever since he came on the hip hop scene. Anybody that's a rapper or anybody that's an artist, definitely in the New York area, a lot of them are frauds. And it's okay if you're a fraud, if that's what you choose to be and you're just into art and it's just music and people want to hear good music. But he's a type of person that embellishes, lies, and romanticizes about events and things that happen. And this is how he's even relevant now. Fat Joe has always been a liar. He's always been somebody who embellishes hip-hop artists, embellishes hip-hop, embellishes what we say, and a lot of artists say is the culture, which is basically a genre. And they get away with being able to do that because a lot of people don't know. Most people who are even fans of hip-hop probably don't even listen to lyrics most of the time. They just listen to a nice beat, and the beat is what catches them. But Joey Crack, Joey, Fat Joe, he's always been a liar. Y'all know he lying. Y'all know in all these stories, the podcast that he got, you listen to what he's saying, he's a great storyteller. He's an individual who talk about other people's stories like he was doing that, or he was doing that, or he was involved. And those are other people's stories. As a lot of people like to say, those are other people's truths to tell. But Fat Joe has always been the type of individual who goes and tell other people's stories, embellishes it, makes it more than what it is. Like, no, you don't even know what you're talking about. You wasn't even there. You had nothing to do with nothing. So I guess he waited until after the election cycle was over because, he had access to Vice President Harris, and he was out here campaigning hard for her. So I guess he waited until the campaign was over, and he voiced his opinion, as he should have been promoting his new album that's out, that's probably not going to have no streams whatsoever. He waited until that was over to go on the attack, like I said, in particular, in general FBA, but in particular Tariq Nasheed and Lord Jamal. And whether you agree with Tariq Nasheed, Lord Jamal, anybody that's a Native Black American, whether you want to say Native Black American, FBA, whether you want to say you ADOS, anybody that understand your lineage or anybody that's fighting for their lineage in America, knowing how Black Americans, how we are distinguishing ourselves from being in the cesspool of other blacks, not because we hate other blacks, because that's not the case, and it's never been the case, but we need to distinguish ourselves and let it be known, because a lot of other blacks have cosplayed into the Black American experience and used it for all the resources that could possibly ever use, and then have anti-Black American behavior outside of that. And I know it could be complex, or a lot of people may not understand the point of it. And if you don't understand the point of it, maybe you should just sit back and listen to some people that are able to articulate and explain it in a manner. Because if you're a Black Jamaican, you should be proud of your Jamaican heritage. You're a Black Jamaican. If you're Black from Nigeria, you should be proud of your Blackness and your culture from Nigeria. But when Black Americans want to distinguish themselves and speak highly of their Black American culture, a lot of people try to say Black Americans have no culture. How could you live in America and you're Black and you're not a Black American, and then you attack Black Americans and say Black Americans don't have a culture? And Joey has basically benefited from Black American culture his whole life. He's benefited from the same Black Americans. Then he has the nerve to say, oh, FBA is nothing but a bunch of broke people. Broke? Any scraps or any amount of money that you made, you've made it off the backs of those very same Black Americans that you're talking about. You know, we all know during the verses he liked to make statements calling Black women bitches and all this other stuff. And for a while, he hasn't gotten checked on his behavior or haven't been called out. But he needs to understand, and a lot of people understand that the jig is up. The cosplaying Black culture and disrespecting Black culture in the same breath is up. It's up. And, you know, some people may be like, oh, that's Tariq's situation, or that's Lord Jamal's situation. Directly, yeah, he may have indirectly, and he said Lord Jamal's name, he didn't say Tariq's name. But if you're, like I said, if you're Black American, you're Native Black American, you're a freedman, you're descendants of slaves, your family toiled in this land, your ancestors built this country, you should be offended by everything that he said. And you should deal with him accordingly to your capabilities of how you deal with when somebody offends you. You know? There's nothing to be playing with. Your lineage is who you are. And it should be sacred to you and your family. He don't care about your lineage. In that very same breath, if he would have got checked on it, he'd have been apologizing, talking about specific. No, you didn't specifically attack them men for nothing but their lineage and who they are. Not what they do. Not Lord Jamal, what he do. Not Tariq, what he do as a man. You ain't attacking them for nothing that's not personal. How they do business, how they conduct themselves. If you think they doing something they ain't supposed to be doing, or conduct themselves less than as men, you attack them men. So you respect of those who you are from the lineage. So, Mr. Fat Nasty, you know, I hope people call him out. And people need to understand that this type of behavior that he did is expected. It's going to be more coming out. There's going to be more saying things attacking the lineage. There's going to be more people having a problem that black Americans are distinguishing themselves. So just be prepared. Those of us who are black Americans, be prepared. I know Italians that'll tell you, yo, I'm Sicilian. Be specific, and it shouldn't be offensive to anybody. But when you disrespect somebody's lineage, you disrespect who they are. You disrespect their people. You disrespect where they from. You know, that's like, you disrespecting an Irish person. It's things that you could say that could be disrespectful to somebody's Irish heritage. We don't do that. We don't disrespect nobody's heritage and their lineage. People should be proud of where they came from. People should be proud of their lineage. So just know that he is the first to publicly to try to talk slick, say what he said, but he won't be the last. It's just the beginning. Definitely when you're pro reparations. These people hate you. These people hate your lineage because they've been blood sucking your lineage for so long. Their whole jig is up. Their whole grift to the community is up because they can no longer cosplay the black American experience. So with that, I just wanted to come on real quick. Little 12, 13 minutes. Hopefully we'll be doing some more shows. Been busy. Had a lot of stuff going on, but I've been watching. There's a lot of stuff going on in the political world, a lot of stuff going on, culturally, in the black American experience, stuff that we do on our show. I know Dr. Short is doing a show right now in his ministry. Shout out to Dr. Short, boy, I tell you. But good brother. But I holla. Y'all have a good day, man. Stay blessed, stay warm, and y'all take it easy out there.